Alright, today we have an interesting... Nope. Welcome to my nightmare. A 1962 Gibson Melody Maker that's been decapitated. By me, actually. It came in here with a headstock that was sort of most of the way off, and then I noticed there was super glue in there. And boonk, and it came right off. So, at some point in this guitar's life, like many Gibsons, it experienced a headstock break. So, you know, that's no big deal. You just go in there with a little bit of PV glue, tight bond, and clamp it together. And there it is, done. But somebody used super glue, and that poses an issue because super glue doesn't like to come off of wood, and we have to get it all the way out, otherwise we're never going to get a successful joint. The guitar is firewood.
The basic procedure here is touch it with a tiny bit of water and then hit it with the heat.
Alright, well, the plot thickens with this headstock repair. I removed as much of the super glue and wood putty and whatnot as I could and got this all aligned, you know, sort of based on this cavity and this little area over here. And we can see that with all this wood putty removed, it was filling in a whole bunch of areas of missing wood. Okay, I got the headstock back on. I actually used epoxy for this, and epoxy in a guitar shop is a problem solver more than anything else. It's not really something you use on the regular. The reason that I used it here was that there was so much wood missing, both internally and on the outside of the joint, that I just wasn't 100% sure that wood glue would do the trick. Alright, we can see that I've patched up the top here. That's mostly to level things out. And this seems to be where the last people stopped. And to borrow a quote from Tarangalila, this is where we distinguish ourselves from the last crew. I made a little template here that shows me where to bring my router as I route out, you know, a part of this area here to plug it with some new mahogany. Alright, let me see here, I got my routing done. So the next step is to make a mahogany plug. Here we have the first plug clamped into place. So I'm going to let that sit overnight and then do some carving on it. We also have to do the other side. This is the stuff that I'm making these little inlaid plugs out of, and it's sapele mahogany, which is really strong, hard mahogany. And I think it's good for this application. We're not only trying to rebuild this headstock and get it back into shape, but we're trying to reinforce it so that it never breaks. It certainly won't break in this area ever again. That's the reason I'm plugging away with this stuff. Alright, here we are a couple of days later, and we can see I've gotten all the carving done, and I've sanded it to 400, so nothing too zany there. Here we are after the first round of color. Second round of color. Let's take a look at the finished product here. I've focused most of my aesthetic work on the front portion of the headstock, since that's what's going to be facing the world if he performs with it. And the back, it's much more apparent that there's been a repair, but you know, he said he wasn't really worried about the aesthetics of it. I mean, there's not much you can do in this situation because it was such an extreme repair. But it ended up playing really nicely. It plays really nice, even better than I thought it would, actually. So let's plug it in and give it a go, see what it sounds like.